Your ascendant sign or rising sign. So I have another video that you should watch. Why the hell is the rising sign so important? So I'll put the link below. I have a unique take on the rising sign. Some people might think I don't like rising signs. They are the mask you wear. They are the defense mechanism you have to the world. But they are also, interestingly enough, the point at which you enter the earth. This becomes the environment that you're born into. Is it the chicken or the egg? Were you born into this environment and then that became your personality because it was what surrounded you? Or were you that way in a past life and then you come into that particular point in time to this earth because that's what you are? Well, I think it's both. We're born into an environment where this projection of who we wish we were is seen as positive. Our environment, our parents, our family, our culture, our church group, whatever, they want us to be this. They might even think that this is who we are. If your rising sign is the opposite sign of your sun sign, I'm sorry. Because you probably feel like your parents don't really know who you are. You might be 35 years old and they still have no idea who you are. That's kind of painful. If you have the same rising sign as your sun sign, that's awesome. There's an authenticity that comes across with you. You are so used to being true to who you are. That is great. If your rising sign is square to your sun, this is also an uncomfortable position where you probably feel like it's really hard to step into your sun sign. You just don't feel exactly comfortable being your true self. When we're kids, we usually look a lot like our rising sign. As we get older, we start to look more like our sun sign or our moon sign, especially if we start becoming that. You are what you eat. What you are inside starts representing itself to your exterior self. It's important to know what your rising sign is because you might be carrying a bunch of weight from the past that we can then release in this video. Be able to embrace more of who you truly are. The rising sign, it's the movie we're watching of what we think the world is because the environment we were born into said, hey, Cancer ascendant, you are a Cancer. You should act like a Cancer. We're going to reward you for being a Cancer. And the whole world we put around you is also going to see you as a Cancer. So in a way, our rising sign is less about who we really are, and it's more about what we see and project the world as. We act a certain way because this is our strongest foot forward in the world around us. Your ascendant is how you go about getting things. When you're little especially, let's say you're a Cancer ascendant. Your dad is watching TV and you want to watch your movie. And you go in there and you give the most cute, adorable, innocent little Cancer big eyes. And of course, nobody can resist. Or you're an Aries ascendant. And so you just go in there and you just change the channel. Take that. An ascendant is also how you survive elementary school and your siblings. When we become nervous, when we become uncomfortable, when we feel like we can't be ourselves, when we feel like somebody wants a fake presentation of who we really are, in walks the rising sign. Ta-da! Very useful to have. But to be happier in life and to be more of who you really are, being authentic is what it's all about. So become more like your sun sign, become more like your north node, become more like your moon sign. And don't let anybody force you into, you need to act a certain way to please them, Libra. Now, am I recommending to just lose all the traits of your rising sign and pretend like it doesn't exist? Treat it as something negative? No, of course not. A defense mechanism in nature is very useful. There are going to be situations where your rising sign is going to be very good for you to have. Like in job interview, when someone's trying to treat you poorly, you can use your rising sign as a protection mechanism. All right, so without further ado, your ascendant. Virgo ascendant. From an early age, Virgo ascendants are born knowing that their parents need them to be perfect. No problem. Virgo ascendants are very discerning. They analyze everything. It's a mental exercise. And things have to become real. It's not just enough to imagine or to just have fun. They need everything to become concrete. The great thing about this is Virgo ascendants are amazing at putting together companies, ideas. They bring things into reality. They will put every single piece of the puzzle together before feeling like it's complete. Virgo ascendants are very hard on themselves. Usually they felt like their environment meant that there was no room for them to be anything except perfect, and they were very needed. There's a bit of a savior complex, like they think that they're the one that's going to save everybody. They're the one that's helping everything stay concrete. They're the glue and the foundation of their family. which for a kid is a lot to handle. The parents are supposed to be the foundation. When they want to be seen and when they want to get something going, they are very humble, they're very gracious, and they don't expect to just get somewhere by flattery, by being pretty. They're all about that work ethic. If they want to get somewhere, they have to put all the effort into it. So in a lot of ways, Virgo ascendants are kind of always looking for the hard way. They're not looking for the easy way. In the story of the tortoise and the hare, they would be the tortoise. The slow, steady approach wins. Virgo ascendants feel unloved. They feel like they could never do enough to make everybody happy. They weren't the shining star of the kid, and they always had to work uphill to be liked or to be appreciated. And this makes them very humble, but it can also make them have a tendency of tearing themselves down. They often have a parent that was extremely critical. Nothing was ever good enough for this person. That Virgo ascendant takes that through their whole life. Other times, Virgo ascendants have a parent that they're trying to save, like a parent that is just drowning in debt or relationships or something, and this child feels like it's their job to help that parent because they're so responsible. Virgo ascendants are often very clean and orderly. I think that Virgo ascendants are usually more tidy with their home than the Virgo sun or Virgo moon. And they can also worry a lot. Like in social settings, they can have anxiety because they want everything to be so perfect. And you know what? Virgo ascendants usually are perfect. They're just too hard on themselves. A Virgo ascendant also in a relationship, when they meet someone, they're willing to go the extra mile. They expect more from themselves than they expect from other people. Of course, they often can deliver because they are so hardworking, but I think a Virgo ascendant needs to expect more from others, negotiate more in your favor, and expect more from the other person than you usually are. Maybe look to your sun sign or your moon sign to help with this. A Virgo ascendant can focus on the negative and not on the positive. They are always seeing the critical side of things. Every day, just try to be a little kinder to yourself. Give yourself more compliments. Really pat yourself on the back for your hard work. And if other people aren't going to do it, don't be in relationships with them. If they don't appreciate you, then you deserve better. A Virgo ascendant, often they were the kid who was just not as pretty, not as charming. They were there to pick up the pieces. They were there to babysit. They were there to be the parent. They saw themselves as hardworking, not necessarily smart or creative. A Virgo ascendant might have also had a parent that was good with numbers, so you picked up those traits from them, like an accountant, a stockbroker, something involved with the practical side of life. And that was a big part of your childhood. All right, Virgo ascendants, be good to yourself. Hope you like my take. Come back for Libra ascendant.